This is Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. They're an American folk rock band from LA in 2007. This is Alex Ebert's band. The name is taken from a story he wrote about a messianic figure named Ed. This is a mishmash of Americana, folk, gospel, and psychedelic rock. This is also a nod to the hippie movement in the 60s and 70s, since we haven't had enough of that. After rehab, Alex began to write about Edward Sharpe, who was sent to Earth to save mankind and kept getting distracted by girls and falling in love and so forth. Ebert adopted Ed as his alter ego. This became an avenue back to reality for him, as he had lost his way in the drug and party life of LA in the Name Your Decade. What I meant to say was, any decade you name, you can probably find a vast party life in LA. At first, his band was just him and a kazoo. Jabe Castrinas heard this going on outside a cafe and decided to write songs with Ebert. They became part of an art and music collective begun by Heath Ledger. Next thing you knew, there was 10 musically inclined, and they piled up in a bus and presented to be a further project with Neil Cassidy, who was long gone by then, but they went off anyway. They wrote stuff as they toured festivals and sometimes got on some stages. They got as far as Laurel Canyon and recorded their debut album, Up From Below, and it came out pretty good. So what the hell? Here's a sample. I was only 5 when my dad told me I'd die. I cried and he said, "Son, was nothing could be done." That sort of thing. In 2009, they released Salvo, a 12-part feature-length musical, which was released as part at a time. You know, they would release a little here, release a little there. It's up to you to put them together. This was on YouTube beginning in 2011. They joined Mumford & Sons and the Old Crow Medicine Show on the Railroad Revival Tour, which stopped in 6 cities and was documented as Big Easy Express. Mumford & Sons taught an Austin high school band to... What could he have taught them? Or they have taught him. They taught him to play their hit, The Cave. And the documentary tried to capture the pure joy of music. The third album is eponymous in 2013. There's the songs 1, Better Days. That's a stutter step. 2, Let's Get High. Crawdads. Next is Please. annoying falsetto gospel. Next is country calling, shunt. Next is life is hard, philosophic. Next is if I were free, I would be blah blah blah. 8. In the Lion. 9. They were wrong. It's not like we didn't know. 10. In the Summer. This is like Velvet Underground without the dope. 11. Remember to remember. Good advice. 12. This Life. A Sloan. They would take people from the audience on stage to participate at festivals. It's like a revival meeting in a church with an excellent choir and no Jesus. 4th album, Person A, saw the death of Edward Sharpe, which was accomplished by crossing out his name on the sleeve art. There was no character to begin with, so why not kill him? He never really was there. If anything, and at most, Edward Sharpe was a vehicle for me to get to slough off whatever I had become up until that point, and to get back to, or sort of to allow my pure self to come forth into a sort of a clean slate. And that's what a revival is for. Alex, vocals and guitar, percussion, piano, Stuart Coyle on trumpet, Josh Colazzo on drums and sax, Orfeo McCord on drums, marimba, didgeridoo, and Christian Letts on guitar and mandolin, marimba, Seth Ford, bass, Mark Noseworthy, what a cool name that is, Sharago, Ron Rocco, and Crash Richard, vocals and percussion, and about 79 other people to dance and carry on uninhibited. Here's some more for ya. Maybe not.